Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell. Of course, tonight is the recap of Dynamite. I am your host, KG. And of course, we have my co-host, the wrestling enthusiast, the Manic. Mark, what's going on, man?
Just trying to stay warm and trying to catch up.
Hey, man, it's supposed to be 40 on Saturday. It's a heat wave.
My Casper the Ghost legs might see some sun.
So real quick, couple of things. And this is 3 days ago. Phoenix broke his silence about his AEW contract extension. In August, it emerged that the Lucha Bros had been in talks with WWE despite still being under contract with AEW. Before that news broke, there had reportedly been plans for them to win the trios titles alongside Pat at All In. However, the pair have not been seen since, and Pac has, of course, going to join Moxley and the Death Riders. While both Phoenix and Penta contracts were originally set to end at the same time, Tony Khan has added injury time to Phoenix's deal, meaning he will remain with the promotion until the summer of 2025. In a post on Instagram Live, Phoenix addressed his current situation, saying, "We must wait," as stressing the importance of professionalism. "There are many things that are not known, but those also should not be talked about. We must wait. Professionalism first and foremost, folks. We must not be the same as all those podcasts that go around spitting out what should not be spit out. Never diminish our work. There are things that should always be respected, and many are forgetting everything that wrestling has given them." That's what he had to say about that. It means whatever I guess it means. So the big news this week that has been kind of all over the internet, I broke this on 19 hours ago. According to Fightful Selects, where I got this information from, Ryan Nemeth, and of course, if you don't know that name, that is the brother of Dolph Ziggler, or as my wife calls him, Dolphin. She hates him. Ryan Nemeth has filed a complaint against AEW alleging harassment and threats by CM Punk and accusing AEW of failing to address the issues. His claims, including being threatened by Punk in June of 2023. What month are we in right now?
December 24.
24. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, fuck. Being removed from an event at Punk's request in August and being pressured to antagonize Punk publicly. Nemeth says AEW sidelined him, ignored creative pitches, and failed to take action despite his repeated complaints. His contract expired in March of 24, following his last AEW appearance in November of 23. AEW offered him a settlement tied to an NDA, which was later withdrawn. Nemeth who sought mental health support over the ordeal, is advocating for policy changes and financial compensation while expressing appreciation for some AEW personnel who supported him during this dispute. Look, I know that I should be unbiased with all this news, but come on, man. One, you know what this makes them sound like a weak little individual who is angry because he did not make it as big as he thought he would make it with AEW. And now that he's not with AEW, he is also sucking at TNA, and he is hurting for money and wanting to be in the spotlight. That's what it seems like to me. But hey, who am I? But come on, mental health. we'll move on from this because you know how I am with that bullshit. But that's it. Let's move on. That was the news. Let's talk about Dynamite. Man, Dynamite was
Dynamite.
great. Look, believe it or not, there's been fans all over the internet shitting on Dynamite. Let me tell you something. Yes, there has been some episodes that has not been that great for some of us. Other people may have loved it. But if you cannot admit when AEW puts on a great show, then you are not being genuine. Last night, I felt like I was almost watching a pay-per-view, man. That is the level of matches that AEW put on. And look, I'll tell you, when WWE, that's kind of my wrestling for the storylines, right? That's what I go to for storylines. AEW I go to because they put on, I mean, just amazing matches. And when they are on point, man, they are on point. And last night they were absolutely, I mean, on Wednesday night, they were absolutely on point. I mean, come on. Some of the matches that they had, Mark. Go ahead, man.
All right. So I think this whole Continental contest, I think I don't think it's a great idea, but I think the mixes they got in it are phenomenal. All right. I think that the people that are facing up against certain people, it's second, and you don't need to have a storyline behind it.
Exactly. That's what I was, look, this is why I love the whole Continental
Classic
championship tournament thing, is because it takes care of the storylines. You know that this is happening and why it's happening. And so, I mean, the matches they put on is just, I mean, I think it's Saturday night, man. It's going to be the Rainmaker. Who's he fighting?
I don't recall.
But I need to go check and see again. I actually, while we start the recap, I'm gonna check that. But Saturday night is a must see AEW. And when was the last time you thought Saturday night would be must see for AEW? Because their Fridays and Saturdays have been lacking, right? And matter of fact, I missed a banger of a match, which was the Rainmaker and Garcia, which I want to talk about briefly once we get to a certain match, right? But yeah, let's start it while I look up the match for Saturday night with Rainmaker.
Well, it starts out with Fletcher versus Benjamin Shelton. Now, I really couldn't ask for a better match.
Right. And look, and this actually brings up a point about the Rainmaker against Garcia. They finished in a draw, right? Which is fine. I wish if they was going to do that to protect the Rainmaker Garcia, I wish they would have done that for Shelton Benjamin and Kyle Fletcher. It's my only complaint, only because we now have Shelton Benjamin at 2 losses, but there's a big but. At least Kyle Fletcher didn't beat him clean. So therefore, you can kind of say, did Shelton Benjamin lose though? Right? And then this led to something else backstage, which I really liked as well. But this match, man, holy shit. This was a pay-per-view type of match.
Absolutely.
I mean, I didn't want to see any of these guys lose, obviously. Someone had to either lose or had to be a draw. I understand why they gave it to Kyle Fletcher. He's younger. Shelton to even beat Shelton Benjamin by cheating, even then, that really puts him over, right? As this guy's a contender. This is a guy that you need to watch, and this is the guy I think is going to win. Yep, go ahead.
The other thing is the Crow is really getting behind Shelton Benjamin. So even if he took a loss, he won. You know, he won. You know, he won the crowd over, and I guess when you're a heel and you win the crowd over, that says a lot.
Yeah, I tell you, Mark, they need to rethink the Hurt Syndicate being a heel group because they're over. They're getting the fans cheering for them. With MVPs out there, they're chanting MVP. They chant for Shelton Benjamin, and they also chant for Bobby Lashley. I think they really need to think this through and kind of turn them babyface and do so sooner rather than later. Just my opinion based upon the fans.
No, I'm going with the anti-hero thing.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, man, but well, okay, we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. All right. So next we go to a recap of Rainmaker versus Garcia, which was a banger of a match.
It was, and like I said, I don't understand why that was a draw. And again, Shelton Benjamin and Kyle Fletcher. And by the way, we got to mention this about Kyle Fletcher and Shelton because it's important, and you understand why once we get to that other match. Shelton Benjamin did not have the Hurt Locker out there because they didn't want the interference. And it was the same thing for Kyle Fletcher. He could not have the family out there, Don Callis' family, right? Their group, because they wanted this to be a match with no interference. Let's remember that. Okay? Let's go ahead.
All right. So next we go to Hook comes to the ring, calls out Nick Wayne, but says he'd rather face Christian Cage at Winners Coming, I believe. Nick Wayne comes out. Oh, excuse me. Saban sneak attacks, and Nick Wayne and eventually Christian. It was a 3-on-1. Did a beatdown on Hook, basically.
And supposedly they did
injury to his wrist.
Yeah, a Cherokee, where they call it. And yeah, did the introduce that this is the thing, and this is what I'm not gonna shit on it. Hook is still young, and putting him with Christian and the program with Christian, right? It can only do things but help him. And because Hook is still so young, I'm gonna wait and see, how he grows. He's decent in the ring, but this is what I kind of didn't make sense to me and made Hook look a little stupid. You see Christian only come out with Mother Wayne, right? Why wouldn't you think, oh shit, let me look behind right now, right away, because you know that the other two is going to attack me. That's the first thing I thought when I seen those two. So just my little, nitpicking it that it made Hook look a little stupid. But hey, like I said, the being put in a storyline with Christian is only hopefully going to help Hook. I'm curious to see what's going to happen though when Taz comes back.
See, I liked it when Hook was with Taz and Brian Cage and was it Powerhouse Hobbs?
Powerhouse Hobbs. Yeah, and
Ricky. I think Taz should actually come back and actually be his son's manager, to be honest.
I agree. And I think Taz should be the one cutting the promos and doing the talking, because that's where Hook really, in my opinion, is lacking. And until he gets better, yeah, because Taz is great. But some people don't like Taz as a color commentary. I love him, man. He makes me laugh.
I think he adds the color to the color.
Right. I really miss him.
Yeah. All right. So next we go to interview with Monet, talking about Camille and then Anna Jay. Really? Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that's about where I was at. Then we got the Hurt Syndicate beating up the staff and back. I kind of like that for some reason.
Look, I love the fact that MVP jumped Shelton Benjamin's ass and said, hey, look, I love you, but what are we about? What are we about?
Yep.
And they reminded everyone what they're about. They're about hurting people. But this is what needs to happen. Shelton Benjamin cannot take another loss. His next few matches, he needs to go out there and they need to have him be aggressive, and it needs to be a squash match. He needs to just kick the shit out of whoever they put out there with him. Even if it's just the local talent, wherever they're at, it doesn't matter. He needs to be absolutely dominant and not take any pins for a while now.
I don't know what it is about Shelton, but I don't think the guy's missed a step in 20 years. He still is as agile and quick as he was 15, 20 years ago. I mean, this guy's found the fountain of youth or some shit. I don't know. But I got nothing bad to say about Shelton. And I think, in my opinion, he should have been a world champion, and he still should be a world champion.
I agree. I hope that they at least let him have one title run, right? Before he's done with AEW. And yeah, I mean, this guy's great. Look, even going back to the Kyle Fletcher match, I get Kyle Fletcher isn't the biggest guy, but he's not the smallest guy either. I mean, he has some weight on him. And Shelton Benjamin, man, when he does the suplexes, he launches them in the air. Although I'll be honest, I would have popped if one of those suplexes, when he threw Kyle Fletcher in the air, Kyle was able to do flip in the air and land on his feet. That would have been awesome. But hey, whatever. The fact that it didn't happen doesn't hurt the match at all. Obviously, that was I would give that a damn near a perfect score. If I was like 4 stars. I mean, that was just an amazing match. And Kyle Fletcher against the Rainmaker actually is what Saturday is. That is just going to be a phenomenal match in my opinion. But yeah, he was just tossing Kyle Fletcher around and he does that to everybody right now during those suplexes. I mean, amazing, man. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and he makes it look effortless.
Yeah.
So, all right. So next we go to the Battle Royal. I didn't have a whole lot of interest in this, and I already knew the outcome.
See, you hit the nail on the head, right? Because you knew that Adam Page or Adam Cole and Kyle, right, was going to win that match, win the Battle Royal. It just didn't interest me. And I think that they should have tried something differently because it did spoil the match. Because there's a couple of things that happened in that match that has a little importance. I think we seen the end of or the breakup of Top Flight as the 4-man group. Because the what is his name? He was with WWE, little guy.
Leo.
Leo Rush, thank you. I apologize, guys. I look, let me say this real quick. It's not that these talents aren't any good. It's yeah, I just have a bad memory. And there's times that I go back and I'm watching this and I'm like, why I know these people's names when I see them, right? But Leo Rush and the other guy, the one that beat Jericho, that surprised that one time when he first made his debut.
Yeah. Yeah. I had his name. Damn it. Action Andretti.
Yeah, Action Andrade.
Andrade, yeah, thanks.
Yep. they drop kicked Top Flight, Isaiah Thomas and his brother off of they're the ones that got kicked them to the floor. And the only reason I'm saying that we witnessed the breakup of those four guys is because it was confirmed that that group is now broken up. But I tell you, I'm not angry about this because I know that they are lower on the card, but those four guys fighting each other, that's going to be one hell. It has the potential to be one hell of a match. And I would go as far as saying that I would be surprised that whatever program that happened on Dynamite or Saturday night on their Saturday night show, I wouldn't be surprised if that match was the match of the night. It has that potential because all four of these guys are really good, especially if they are wrestling against one another. I mean, Leo Rush, holy shit, man. I wish that he could be a bigger guy, a little bit bigger. He may be able to gain size as far as muscles, but he can't get any taller, right? But Leo Rush is just outstanding. I mean, that kid is quick as shit.
He's quick as a hiccup.
Yeah.
The thing about this though is I almost wish I had a car so I could watch this in slow motion so I can keep up with how fast these son of bitches are going. Because they're gonna be cats on catnip. They're just gonna go zoom, 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 zoom.
Yeah. Yep.
Rewind it just to catch it.
Yep. Now the great thing that came out of all of this match was MJF's promo. This is the first promo I feel like we've seen MJF again because the dude made me laugh when he was talking about everything is Adam Cole's fault, right? And I said Adam Page earlier. I meant Adam Cole. Adam Cole's fault, and how now Jon Moxley has the title, and he's just murdering everybody. That just made me laugh.
Every week.
Yeah.
Someone's getting murdered every week. Yeah, it was almost like he was gaslighting Adam Cole. Yeah, it was kind of comical. But you know what? He kind of looked like Brandon Fraser in School Ties.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't the one that thought that good. All right. So I guess we can skip let's see, MJF for his interview. All right.
Now let's be real quick. The match. So I think the match Adam Cole and Kyle is going to be at Winter's Coming.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And then the winner of that match is going to fight MJF, of course, for that ring.
Yep.
Who do you think is going to win?
I guess for a change of pace, I'd like to see Adam win, but I'm pretty sure MJF's going to keep it.
No. I mean between Adam and Kyle.
Oh, you know what? I think Cole, but fuck, how do I put this? Cole's going to win, but I think for storyline, they should have Kyle win.
Yeah.
Because I think they can drag this on for maybe another pay-per-view, possibly two, if they do it right, but that's stretching it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this will be another match that is predictable because we're going to have, although I tell you, if they want to drag this thing with Adam Cole and MJF, if they have MJF come out and help Kyle win that match, cheating Adam out of the match for the ring, then of course that's how you could drag that Adam Cole and MJF is going to fight at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, good point. And I could see MJF, coming out to help.
Yeah, because if they want MJF to keep that ring, then the match should be MJF against Kyle O'Reilly, and because that if those two fight, then MJF's going to win, and because of how MJF got that match, cheating Adam Cole out of it, that'll again lead to that final match with Adam. Well, you know what's interesting to me is, MJF said during the interview, Mark, that, they were best friends. They had their tag team and it was great. And Adam was the one that turned on MJF, but yet Adam is the one that they're looking at as the hero, and instead he should be the villain. And this is what's interesting. MJF is not wrong at all, right? Adam Cole should be the villain because he is the one that turned in MJF and cost him the title.
Yep. Yep. All right. So next we go to Swerve versus Max Caster. And I tell you what, this is about as close you get to a squash match as you can get.
It was great. And I tell you why it's great. First, let's go to backstage with Billy Gunn and Max Caster and his tag team partner. And they're, trying to talk about it, but of course, Max Caster, he's the greatest wrestler alive. And then he comes out, and I got to give it to Max Caster. That rap that he said, talking about Swerve Strickland's mom, was funniest. It was really funny. But what was great was Swerve just beating the dog shit out of Max Caster. That was absolutely a squash match. And then on top of it, Swerve Strickland showed that he's back. That the guy that we seen face Bobby Lashley, that was a guy that only looked like Swerve Strickland. We have Swerve Strickland back. He showed why he's the most dangerous guy in AEW. He kicked the shit out of Max Caster. And then after the match, what did he do? He went on top of the rope and gave him his finisher. I mean, yeah, it was brutal. And that sidekick that he does is probably one of my favorite moves out of all moves right now in professional wrestling. It just looks phenomenal. And I love the fact that that's what he beat him with. He kicked him 3 times in the head, on side of the head, and beat him with that move. And then, like I said, went on top and gave him his final, his finisher after the match. Great.
Okay, so yeah, that sidekick I love. That jump from the top rope onto that double stomp. That was probably the worst double stomp I've seen.
Yeah, last night it was, because last night you were really able to see how he actually hits. He doesn't touch them. He gets very close to him. His feet lands on the mat, inside their arms. Usually they do it fast enough where it looks like they actually make contact. He lands on their chest. But yeah, last night was terrible. Nonetheless, love Swerve, and I love that we have Swerve Strickland back. He looked at the camera and said, "It's not over with Bobby Lashley." So let's sit with that.
All right. So the next we go to, we've already talked about it. MJF talking to Adam Cole, blaming Cole for everything. Just gaslighting his ass. I love it. All right. So then we got Pac versus Jay White. Now here's another goddamn good match.
Oh my God.
And a good pairing nonetheless. All right. So during the match, Jay White takes a big knee.
Hold on. Remember what I said, the beginning of the match, the beginning of the first match, how Hurt Locker wasn't allowed and how Diecast family wasn't allowed because AEW wants this tournament to be clean, no interference. And this isn't the first time they said it. Last week, when they first started it on Dynamite last week, they made the comments that no one was allowed inside the ring. Go back and watch it. Why is it all of a sudden, for this match, the Death Riders are allowed there? Quit.
Because it wasn't a tournament match.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it wasn't. But it was a tournament match level.
Okay, my apologies. Thank you for that. Hold on, because we can't hear. Thank you for that because I missed that. I really did. I thought that was a tournament match. Now that makes sense to me. So, yes, thanks. Okay, it's clear.
Yuta gives a big knee to the face, and then rolls Jay back in. Jay, they thought he was done. Gives uh Blade Runner, and pins Pac. That just shocked the shit out of me. All right. Now I'm not a Jay White fan, but damn it, I was happy for Jay White. I love Pac, but when you take a cheap shot and then come out for the win 30 seconds later, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that was a great match last night. I guess though too. And then I actually loved what happened after. They had John Moxley come out. They were beaten down. Um, Jay White, and who comes out? But of course, Hangman Adam Page. But after Heyman comes out and they're showing him at the entrance at the ramp, they show this figure in black mask, throws the cameraman, attack John Moxley. And who is it? Orange Cassidy. I'm going to tell you that I like this level of intensity that Orange Cassidy showed last night. And I'm not going to lie, I got goosebumps whenever I seen Adam Page, Jay White, and Orange Cassidy standing in the ring on opposite sides of one another. You know what's going to happen. They're going to eventually team up. I don't know why I liked it so much, but this is the first time since this whole Death Rider thing has formed that I've seen something happen that made me get into the storyline somewhat. I liked it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it gets down to the enemy of my enemy is my friend. All right. So, because we've seen White and Page go at it how many times, you know. So yeah, if you see the enemy of my enemy is my friend, yeah, I can see how it works. And you don't really expect those three to tag together.
And that's what I think I like so much, Mark, was that was the last thing I expected to happen. And I always say it, when you can surprise me in wrestling, I love it.
Yep, absolutely right. Absolutely right. All right, so let's see. You like covered all my parts, I think here. Uh, yep. Orange Cassidy comes out. Hey man, clear the ring. Oh, Christian Cage comes out and it kind of gives you a fake. I might cash in. No, I'm not going to, which I thought was totally worthless to me, but whatever. Um, so then we got Jamie Hayter. Now, I've never seen Jamie Hayter look like this, but what was wrong with her face, man? She looked like she had some scars on her face or bad foundation or something.
I don't know. All I know is this. Since she's been back, she looks like she belongs to the Scooby Doo crew. I thought at first, because it was during Halloween that she first came back, that maybe this was a Halloween costume. Her looking like, I think it's Thelma from Scooby Doo, but it's not. This is how she's dressed, which is, hey, it's fine. I'm not saying she looks terrible. I'm just saying she looks like she belongs to Scooby Doo. What I like about this though was just the Julia Hart video before we seen Jamie Hayter. That video was great. I loved it. I love the mask with the blood, and then the whole thing was great. Um, I'm excited to see Julia Hart. The only thing I'm concerned about is that you can see Julia Hart come back, and Jamie Hayter is just going to kick her ass. They better not do that. If anything, Julia Hart should come back and give a beat down to Jamie Hayter and then disappear. She's part of the House of Black.
Um, I agree with that to a degree, but you got somebody with 2 years experience and 6 months injury versus someone's got 10 plus years, and a world champion, a former world champion. That's kind of a huge slap in the face to Hayter. I see where you're going though. You know, I mean, you got to look at the future, and Hart is the future. You know.
It's not about that. It's almost I compare the House of Black a little bit to the Undertaker. They have this mystique about them. And this is why Julia Hart at first, I'm not saying beat her in a match. I'm saying Jamie Hayter after a match, the lights go out, come back on. Julia Hart, she surprises Hayter. She beats Hayter down. Lights go out again, come back on. Julia Hart disappears.
All
Right?
right. All right. I'll go with that. I'll go with
That
that.
type of stuff. That's what really should happen.
All right. So next we got Jericho pitching for upcoming events.
I don't even know what to think about that.
Yeah. Well, the next thing is a promo for Bandito, and it was probably the worst promo I've seen in my life. And we're talking gobbledygook. You know.
This is why tonight I was going to say I gave AEW a B plus, right, for Dynamite, just because great show, but there was a couple of things that I was like, oh, so
I'll give props to Bandito because for his size, he is surprisingly strong.
this isn't against Bandito. It's against the freaking horrible promo that they put out that Bandito's coming back.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But no, Bandito's a hell of a wrestler and surprisingly strong.
Absolutely.
Um, all right, so I got to move on because I'm gonna have
Go ahead.
Vietnam flashbacks of Bandito's promo. All right, so next we got Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford. You know what? This is a goddamn good match. I ain't gonna take anything away from this. This was a damn good match. Anna Jay got the pin.
Yeah, I like the match, and I'm as much as I am not a Mercedes Mone fan. I didn't hate the promo after the match that happened between the two. It was good, right? But it was only good because of Anna Jay. That's just put that out there. It was good because of Anna Jay. Um, do you think that Mercedes Mone is going to drop the belt and we're finally going to see Anna Jay back and with the belt?
Well, first of all, Anna Jay's never had a belt.
Well, I meant her now being back with AEW and having a belt is what I'm saying.
I think if they're in a position to put Monet as a world champion, then yes. If they're not ready to put Monet as world champion, then no. Because Monet is only going to hold that TBS title until they've got a position for her to be the world champion. Because
Yeah,
I think she's got that Cody Rhodes contract of, yeah, I'll come to your company, but I'm being a world champion.
yeah, and well, if that's the case, then she's not dropping it because unless they're going to turn the women's champion into a baby face, then Monet is not going to be facing her anytime soon unless she drops the belt, unless the world champion drops the belt. Because Mercedes Monet, it would be a disaster if they turned her to a baby face. The fans just aren't ready to accept her as a baby face.
I could care less if she's a baby face or heel. I don't care for her.
I don't like it either, but what I'm saying is that right now our current champ is a heel. And I don't foresee her turning to a baby face. So either our current champs can either drop the title to a baby face for Monet to be ready to have that match, or Monet would have to turn to a baby face. And there's no way that the fans is going to accept her as a baby face. They're going to boo her out of the building. Because
Yep.
and this is horrible to say maybe, but I don't think the fans are only booing her because they're supposed to because she's a heel. I think that the AEW fans genuinely just don't like Mercedes Moné in AEW.
I can't argue that. I didn't care for as Sasha Banks, I liked her a little bit, but as Monet, I think she's carried this above and beyond than where she believes her own hype, and I don't know. I can't get behind her. I can't enjoy her, heel or face. There's nothing appealing about her.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you saying about her believing her own hype. I don't think this is just her character that she's, portraying this. I think that this is genuinely what she believes. I think that she genuinely believes that she is the one carrying the women's division in AEW.
Oh no, she believes she's carrying the women's division for
And
all divisions.
yeah, you're right. Right. She's delusional.
Of women's wrestling,
Yeah.
and she's not.
Right.
I could probably name 5 people that are better than her without even blinking, and I might even be able to name 5 in AEW. But I know between AEW and WWE, I certainly can. Um, yeah, she needs to get off her high horse a little bit and come back to reality.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll name someone that's not even with a big promotion that is 1,000 times better than her. And you probably know who I'm going to say because I'm such a big fan of hers. Tessa fucking Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard.
Oh my God, I'd love to see Tessa come in here and just stomp all over Monet. Never happened, but I'd love to see it.
I would too. I so desperately want to see Tessa Blanchard in AEW. And I say AEW because there's just certain talent that is good enough to be with WWE, but I think would be misused by WWE. And I think Tessa Blanchard would be one of those. I think that she belongs with AEW and that she deserves to be at least a contender for the world title.
Right. Although, you know what? I would love to see Tessa versus Charlotte.
Oh my God. Dude.
And I'd love to see Tessa just school her, to be honest. And I like Charlotte. I like her because of her dad and the history and all that stuff. I like that. Charlotte is a damn good athlete. I'm not going to take that away from her. She's another one that kind of believes her own hype a little bit and maybe a little too inflated, But I think as far as in-ring performers, she can go rings around Sasha Banks or Monet or whatever you want to call her. All right. But Tessa Blanchard, I think, can run rings around both of them.
Yeah, and as far as Tessa Blanchard, if I had to choose between Tessa Blanchard versus Mercedes Mone or Charlotte Flair, it would be Charlotte Flair all the way. And I'll tell you why. Number one, it would be a much better match. But just the potential storyline because of the history between their two fathers together with the Four Horsemen, just that alone would just be, to me, such a great storyline and such an amazing draw. That would be a WrestleMania worthy match, in my opinion.
Well, they've already got it built in the storyline, because it's quite simple for Tessa to come in and say, you know what? Your dad always overshadowed my dad. My dad was a better wrestler. And I'd argue that Tully was probably a better wrestler, to be honest.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you got a built in storyline to have anguish and frustration, because Tully was a hell of a wrestler. I'm not going to take it.
Absolutely.
But again, Tully 10, 15 pounds to be a legitimate heavyweight. But carried his own with heavyweights, though.
Yeah, well, look, I think that, and we'll get back to this because we're going kind of off in a rabbit hole, but I think the reason why Ric Flair was chosen over, say, a Tully Blanchard was because Tully Blanchard looked like your everyday man, right? I'm not saying he looked bad, but he looked like your everyday man. Ric Flair had that flamboyance, that look, that charisma, and they chose that over talent. Ric Flair's a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong. But I agree. Tully Blanchard was better, and they chose that charisma over wrestling ability.
Ric Flair had that flair.
Yes.
There's no other way to put about it.
Absolutely.
Had, as far as charisma goes, until he had charisma, all right. But it was like having a little big lighter. Flair was that big flame, and Blanchard was that littler flame.
Yep, absolutely.
So, all right. So next we go to the main event, Claudio versus uh his name eludes me. I didn't write it down. Sorry.
Yeah, and Claudio against, God damn it, now you made me forget, versus the big guy, House of Black.
I don't
Damn
know.
it. Why'd you do this to me? Hold on.
I don't know why I didn't write it down.
Yeah, hold on. Making us look like a bunch of freaking
AEW writers.
all right.
I want to say Brodus.
Brody King.
Brody King, that's it.
Damn it. Brody, man, we are amateurs. This is why we're not in the big leagues. This is why we are not up there with Wrestling Inc. yet or any of those other guys, because we're still a bunch of freaking rookies. One day we'll get it. One day we'll remember every single name.
Hold on now. Even Joe Rogan jokes once in a while. All right. But when you got Joe Rogan money, you can joke.
But you said Joe Rogan chokes every once in a while. We choke every podcast. Okay.
All right. Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, damn it. But yes, we choke every episode. Sorry. But that's what makes us lovable, like the puppets.
Yeah.
All right. So again, good match. While Claudio doesn't have the girth that Brody does, Claudio definitely can match him strength for strength.
It does, but what I like about this match is, again, it's kind of the same thing with Shelton Benjamin. Yes, Brody King lost, but the only way Claudio was able to get that win was that low blow, right? It was a low blow that allowed Claudio to do his finish, which, look, the fact that Claudio was even able to pick up Brody King, okay, is amazing to me. Brody King's a big guy. But nonetheless, that is how Claudio won. And man, look, it was a good match. It really was. For as big as Brody King is, he could put on solid matches, man. I don't have any complaints, none whatsoever. I was hoping that Brody King would pick up this win, right? But I'm not hating that he didn't, because again, they didn't bury Brody King. Claudio had to distract the ref and then use his leg to hit Brody King in the balls to get him to the point, to the finisher, and to beat him. Yeah.
Okay, so two things here. Brody King needs to trim down a little bit, and he could be the next Bruiser Brody. Okay. The other thing is, I think in this point system, they should go with 3 points for the win, 2 points for the loss, 1 for a tie.
Yeah, I can see that. But so let's go with what you said about Brody should trim down, and he could be the next
Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody. Yeah, I can see that. But look, and I do this too. Too often we say, these guys should do this and this, and they can be the next so and so, right? I think us as fans, and including myself, we need to learn, I think, to realize that Brody King doesn't need to be the next God damn it. Who? Yeah, Bruiser Brody. Brody King needs to be
the next Brody King.
The next Brody King. I don't want to see Brody King trimmed down. He's a big guy. He's not sloppy. He moves. I think he's a good wrestler. For a lot of times when you have guys as big as him, you have a very limited move set. Brody King's not like that. The guy can go. I like him just like he is. So, I just want to see the House of Black get some gold, man. And I don't care if it's single, tag team, or trios. They need to have gold because they're just too damn good not to have gold.
Okay. Now the other thing I see that is people are still utilizing, I guess, is the Eddie Guerrero line of thought. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. All right. So while he's,
Yep.
every time I see a good cheat, I'm thinking of Eddie.
But
Now,
this is the thing. This is the thing. That's Eddie, right? Um, I don't want to see that loss because of that's what everyone does, you know. Now, granted, again, there's certain people I don't want to see get beaten clean unless it is an opponent that deserves to get that win clean over them. I'm not saying that Claudio isn't worthy and isn't capable or shouldn't be capable of beating a Brody King clean. But I think right now, and where they have Brody King at in his career with AEW, um, he's lost enough matches clean. Darby Allin beat him clean, right? Which should have never happened. I hate seeing that shit. I want to see Brody King and the rest of the House of Black start to get more wins than losses. Because again, I want to see titles around their waist. Because if they don't put a title around Malachi's waist, then all we're doing is seeing another repeat of what WWE did to Malachi, um, which is just a waste of talent. You know, these three guys are just so good. Don't waste that talent, man. And I think this is why I get frustrated with um AW at times. They have such rich talent there that they are not utilizing correctly. AW should be further than where they're at right now. They're still a young company, don't get me wrong. But with the talent that they have, this is why I get frustrated with fans who are only WWE and they just want to shit on AEW just because. It's like, are you kidding me? These guys, a lot of the talent is, and they are as good as a lot of the WWE talent, right? So, sure, if there's a weaker show, there's nothing wrong with saying, I didn't like Dynamite this week. We all do it, right? But to say, Dynamite always sucks and WWE is always the better, no, that's not true. And I'll rest, I'll let my plane here because I like to do it, just for the sake of conversation. Monday night was a damn good Monday Night Raw. Wednesday night was a damn good Dynamite. Friday night and Saturday night should be damn good nights. You know what? That means that we, as wrestling fans, had a damn good week in professional wrestling. If Friday and Saturday goes on to be as good as what it looks like it's going to be, man, you know what? Yay for wrestling fans, because that means we had a great week of wrestling.
all right. Now this is how I look at it. Wednesday night should be almost pay-per-view quality matches, almost. Okay. Fridays and Saturdays should be the storyline building to Wednesday Dynamites or supporting stories for the Wednesday shows. Okay. That's what helped WCW.
Yeah, I agree. Apparently, Friday nights are about to go away, is what's being said. Um, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. But Dustin Rhodes this week came out, and I meant to talk about this at the beginning and said, look, stop making this a competition. He basically said what I've been saying. Stop making this a competition as far as AEW needs to go out of business or WWE even needs to go out of business, because AEW fans, a lot of them, some of them are saying this shit as well, right? And just enjoy professional wrestling. Again, it's okay to say this week I preferred AEW over WWE or vice versa, But to want one of these companies to go out of business, I don't understand that. Because not only does it hurt, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to keep on saying it. Not only does it hurt wrestling fans by cheating them, it hurts the talent. Because guess what? If there's a competitor, that means that it even though AEW really isn't a competitor, at the same time, it does kind of challenge you to do better. And B, it opens the door for better negotiations as far as trying to get more money for yourself. Or if you are let go from one of the brands, guess what? You have other options instead of being stuck. So the nonsense of AEW, WWE needs to go away is ridiculous. And for that matter, it's the same thing for TNA and NWA as well, right? Man, I want all of them to succeed. They succeed, we succeed.
You just get a better product.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Overall, I have AEW about a B+.
Yeah, that's where I was at. B+ as well. And like I said, great matches, a couple of promos I didn't enjoy. But overall, man, what a hell of a show. Look, and is it me, or have you noticed that as good as these matches were, for some reason, when it is a pay-per-view, it's like the rest, the talent actually steps it up even more, right? For these pay-per-views. And I say that to say this. As good as these matches were, Shelton Benjamin against Kyle Fletcher, right? Claudio against Brody King, and the other matches, as good as they were, can you imagine if this was a pay-per-view? How much, like, I can't, it's hard for me to imagine some of these matches being even better. But the fact that these wrestlers step it up even more with a pay-per-view, man, I want to see some of these matches on a pay-per-view. I really do. Because I think we'd be blown away. I was down there blown away Wednesday night, some of these matches.
Well, I think anytime you open with Kyle Fletcher and Benjamin Shelton, I mean, yeah, that's a pay-per-view quality match as far as I'm concerned.
You know what's funny about Kyle Fletcher is 2 months ago, he was there, but he was just kind of there. It's like he just came out of nowhere and has just blown us away. I mean, I am a Kyle Fletcher fan. I am as big of a Kyle Fletcher fan as I am a Will Ospreay fan. I mean, I love Kyle Fletcher, man. I do.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but yeah, it's not a far behind. Kyle's made a huge jump in a short amount of time, and you don't generally see that.
Look, I'm not necessarily trying to compare the two as far as who's the better wrestler, right? I'm saying just as a fan in general, just because of the things that Kyle Fletcher is doing, that has made me just about as big a fan of his as I am of Will Ospreay's. Just because Kyle Fletcher is such a great heel. He is just that Weasley guy that you love to hate.
Yep.
Which means the day he turns to a baby face, well, absolutely.
Yep. I was just going to say it before you beat me to it. When he turns face in 6 months or 8 months or a year, it's going to go through the fucking roof. And if it's done right, it'll be organic and he'll reach heights that he has never reached yet.
100%. 100%. But that is the recap of Dynamite. Friday night. See what happens with SmackDown. There's some rumors going around that Solo may be in trouble with the bloodline. See what's going to happen with that. See if they're going to, if the storyline with Jey Uso being jumped is going to bleed into SmackDown with something happening there. Very curious to see what's going to happen to SmackDown. I'm looking forward to SmackDown. I hope they don't disappoint me. And man, Friday night, double whammy. I'm gonna definitely be check out AEW. Look, I really feel we don't normally cover AEW Friday or Saturday night. Just have it. A lot of it is because you are so busy with other things as well. But man, with this tournament happening, right? I almost feel like we should be covering it because of the matches that they're having.
Well, we'll see what the matches go and how they look. And
Yeah.
you and I will talk about that. And maybe we can recap it on Sunday morning or something, or Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. If we do wind up recapping Friday night, AEW Friday night because of the matches, we'll do a quick recap of it before we do the recap of SmackDown on Saturday.
All right.
And then Saturday night, if AEW is good, then maybe we'll talk about doing a quick little recap on Sunday. But definitely, I could say we'll be back on Saturday to do a recap of SmackDown for sure. But yeah, that's basically that's the recap of Dynamite. Like I said, a definite B plus. Dynamite. This was the best Dynamite. I think in quite a while. It really is. And look, I know that the ratings for the previous Dynamite was one of the worst they've ever had. I'm not sure the ratings is going to be for this past Dynamite, but I am going to put it out here right now. I don't give a shit what the ratings are. This was a damn good Dynamite. You've got to give them credit when they deserve credit, and they deserve it. God damn it, this week.
So for those of you that watch this podcast, tell your friends, and tell your friends' friends, and tell your friends' friends, because that was a damn good show.
Absolutely. Speaking of damn good shows, yeah, we may be amateurs and we may be forgetful at times. We may choke almost every podcast, but God damn it, we're getting better each and every week. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. Even if you're subscribing to making fun of Mark, it's okay. I make fun of Mark.
Hey, that's okay. Our mama say we're doing better.
That's right. And even if you want to subscribe to make fun of me, I'm okay with that. Leave a comment. If we suck, tell us we suck. I want to hear it. I want to get better.
Hey, right. So,
just subscribe. What?
We can take constructive criticism.
Yeah. Just subscribe to our channel. It's free. Go ahead.
We'll argue it.
But yeah, that's it. Mark, what you got?
Well, come Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we're going to recap the Monkey Brothers' career.
Absolutely. Don't forget to ring the
damn bell, brother.
Ring the damn bell. Good night, everybody. Subscribe, everybody. Good night.